Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And in honor of The Bad Batch, the new Disney Plus series that aired today, we are taking a look at Hunter from the Star Wars Black series from Hasbro. Very excited for this figure. Really can't wait to get the entire team. I think these figures look great and I'm just in love with The Bad Batch right now. Saw the first episode of the show. It was phenomenal. The episodes of the Clone Wars that they were in were also phenomenal. So really enjoying this team. Cannot wait to get the entire team in the Black series. Honestly, I'm also really excited for their Lego set. I heard that they're going to do a Lego set with their ship, so very excited for that as well. But anyway, let's take a look at this. You can see we have this new style of packaging from Hasbro where they have the kind of like bookend series of pictures, spine art as it were, to kind of, continue a picture on the side here. So very excited to get the rest of that as well. You can see it comes with a ton of accessories, which is really cool. And he's got that crazy skull half face tattoo, which I think they did a pretty good job with. But let's go ahead, let's get him out of this box so we can take a closer look. Here he is out of the box, and the figure looks fantastic. You have the two different tones of gray, with the maroon as an accent color, looks really sharp. Some nice detailing there on the shoulder pads since they are Unit 99. And you have the skull as well. Let me move the camera up here so we can take a look at the face sculpt. I think they did a pretty great job. It's always hard translating the computer animation to kind of like a real-life design, but I think they did a pretty good job here. He even has the little skull painted on his bandana, and then he's got that half-face tattoo, which I think looks pretty good. Now, his head's got a ton of articulation. He's actually got movement at the base of the neck, as well as the base of the skull. So you see there's kind of like a little hinge in there, as well as a ball joint, so you got a ton of movement. You can rock side to side, swivel around, you can look down, you can look up. Ton of movement there in the neck and base of the skull there. The shoulder pads are connected actually to the torso, so they do not get in the way. You have a nice hinge and a rotation there. No butterfly joint. It kind of moves a little bit, but it's not really like a formal butterfly joint in there. You would think that the bicep swivel would be here, but it's actually just above the elbow. And then he's got one single elbow. Now you can see that it's pinless, which is really nice. But it is just one joint, but it still works really well in my opinion. And then he's got the swivel and hinge in the wrist, so that can move all the way around like so. You have nice movement here in the torso, a lot of range of movement there. You have a ball joint in the hip, as well as a thigh swivel. And then again, you have one joint for the knee, but you have a swivel as well. And then you have your typical hinge and side to side here in the ankle. This one's really tight on mine, but it does move, and then it has the rock back and forth. So all in all, figure looks good. Really nice articulation, really nice paint applications. But it doesn't stop there. He does come with a host of accessories. So first off, he has his large backpack, which you can see has kind of a T peg there, so it can peg right into his back. And that just pegs on very simply. It does kind of help to balance him a little bit, makes him a little back heavy, but I think it helps him stand a little bit. He does, of course, have his helmet, which also has kind of the same tattoo on it. I know you don't tattoo a helmet, but you guys know what I mean. Same design. And that is a softer plastic, so it can just pop right over top of his head. And I think that looks pretty great. It almost looks a little large, but that's just because it has to fit over the head. I still think it looks really good. And then he comes with 3 weapons. So the first thing he has is his little Vibro blade knife. If I can get him to stand, there we go. So here is the tiny Vibro blade knife. You can see it even has some of that like circuitry on it, which is kind of neat. And this fits into the little sheath he has here on the back of his forearm. So let me make sure this is pegged in correctly. And then that just pegs in just like that. So you have nice storage there for easy access for him. Then he comes with 2 guns. He has a larger gun, kind of a blaster. And then he's got the smaller handgun, similar to what Captain Rex always had. Now, this has a large rectangular peg on the side of it, but I don't see anywhere where it can peg in. I was kind of hoping it would have somewhere on the side of his leg, so maybe he could peg it in and store it here, or, you know, even better, like somewhere on the side of his backpack, he could just kind of peg it in there. I thought maybe he could try to peg in there. That doesn't work. In the show, they're always connecting their guns to their backpacks, and I kind of thought that was half the reason they have them. But there's no storage for guns on this. I'm really kind of bummed about it. It's easily my biggest complaint of the figure. You know, something like this on the side of the leg, or I thought on the show he like held this in his back somewhere, so I thought maybe there'd be like a little holster on the back. Or again, if you could open this up and actually put it in the backpack, something like that. But as far as I can tell, the backpack is one solid piece. And I don't think this opens in any way. I think this is completely... It almost looks like it does. Like you can see that there's kind of a tiny crack right there. But I don't think it's meant to. It seems pretty solid. You can kind of see how there's crack around the edge. But, I mean, if this opened up somehow and you could put one of the guns inside, that would be a big deal to me because I like weapon storage on these kinds of figures. Recently, I reviewed the Cobra Infantry from G.I. Joe, and that had a ton of weapon storage on the figure, which I really appreciated. I wish this guy had at least just one of the guns. I mean, I can understand he can hold one of them. He does have a trigger finger, so you can get that in and get that into the trigger of the gun. And he holds the guns great. They look good. He looks perfect wielding them. No issues there. I just wish you could either peg this onto the side of the backpack or the leg, or if they had a little side holster for this somewhere, either on the back or on the leg. I mean, technically he could hold both, but there's no trigger finger on this hand because it's really meant to hold the knife. So if you pop this out, you can put the knife pretty easily into his hand, and then he wields that very well. So, I mean, he wields the weapons nicely, and both guns work really well in this hand. It's just that I wish there was some storage for that second gun, whether it was the backpack, the leg, on his back, somewhere. I just really think that would have been a big deal. It's really my only complaint about the figure, because really the rest of him looks great. The design's great, detailing, paint applications, articulation's good. I like the, you know, pinless joints for both the knees and the elbows, big deal. And all that looks really good. I like the helmet. I think the face sculpt looks good. I think the backpack looks good as an accessory. So I'm really happy with just about everything else with this figure. It's a pretty great figure, honestly, and it makes me really excited for the rest of the team. I think Crosshair is also available now, and then I think Hunter and Tech are coming later. But yeah, overall, definitely a great figure. I definitely recommend picking him up if you're a fan of the Bad Batch. I think this is definitely one you're going to want to grab. I would say it's almost perfect. Honestly, the weapon storage is the only thing that bothers me, and maybe that's not important to you. Maybe you don't mind. Like I said, otherwise, it's a pretty perfect figure. I definitely recommend picking it up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.